All right, so I'm here looking at Vanessa's IEP, and I'm just trying to show what happens when you add a new meeting and why we review the IEP goals. So as you can see, I've opened up one meeting, which was on September 1st, and I haven't selected an end date yet. I haven't done anything there. It's still the initial meeting. Okay, so right now, all of the objectives and means that I have placed in this meeting, I can still edit because I have not opened a review meeting yet. Okay, so I can still go in and I see the objectives that I have done for Vanessa. And at this point, I can still review the objectives. All right, and that's indicated by these red boxes here. Okay, um, you can see here, okay, that it means that those goals, I can still edit them. Now, I had kept a few mistakes on here in terms of the spelling because I wanted to show why we would want to come back and edit things. All right. So let's say we're looking this over as a group when we're going to do the review meeting, although we haven't opened it yet because we still want to allow ourselves some time to edit. We can see here that I've spelled a few things wrong. Okay, so automatic is not automatic. All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit that to the right spelling, automatic memory. There was also another consecutive is spelled wrong. Okay. And there was another one, although I'm not really seeing it right now, but that's not really what's important. The important thing is that we can go and we can change, we can edit if we see spelling mistakes. Maybe while we were doing, working on this objective for Vanessa, we had added in some strategies or we had taken out certain things. So we can add or delete if, we want to more clearly reflect the objective that we have been working on. Okay, so that's okay. The IEP really should be a record of what we're doing that's working, perhaps what's not working. And we want that as teachers, I know we want that to reflect really what's going on in the classroom. So I'm just imagining that we're sitting there for the second review meeting that we're starting. Let's say we're going to do it December 1st. And we can see that the review date is December 1st, okay? But before we open that review meeting and all of the team members are sitting down, we're going to look at, make sure we're happy with this objective. And then, because once we open up the review meeting, we're not going to be able to edit this objective, okay? So let's make sure that we're okay with the objectives that are in here. So, I'm going to go here into the mean. First, I'm going to press save to make sure that my spelling stuff was updated. I'm going to go to the mean. All right, so just a couple of points that I've noticed that some great teachers have pointed out to me. If we don't double space things, then it really runs them all on one line, which looks terrible and is super annoying. And, we want things to look nice. So what I'll do is I'll double space these. And we can see that once I save that, it's going to save them in a nice little list. Okay, perfect. So I might have some more spelling errors on here, but right now I just wanted to show, and that's okay. And if I was with the English teacher, I'm sure they would point those all out to me. You could even copy and paste this because there's no spell check option in here. You could copy and paste this into a Word document and then it will highlight all of the spelling for you, or a Google Doc or whatever you want to do. See, I have the math teacher checked off for this objective. Okay, so I'm there. It's December 1st. I'm reviewing my objective as the math teacher. I'm happy with this. We've corrected all the spelling errors. We've corrected the weird spacing issues that we've had. Okay, and we're sitting there as a team and we're like, okay, yeah, let's open up this review meeting. Okay, so I'm just going to press save one more time for good measure. I'm going to go back to meetings. All right. And you can see, okay, so this was started in September, but we haven't reviewed yet. Now the review is super important and you'll see why. Okay, so let's say I'm going to add a meeting here. I could even close this meeting if I want, but I'll just add this meeting here. Okay, it's going to be a review meeting. It was going to be on December 1st. The time we're going to put as 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no reminder because that date has already passed. We are going to keep the same people on there, all of the same people, and we're going to save that meeting. Okay, perfect. So we go back to this screen. Okay, we'll click out and then we'll come back in. And we can see now that we have the start meeting and we have another meeting. We have the review meeting rather, which is also the most current meetings are going to be on top. I can see, okay, December 1st, it's a review meeting, and we have the initial meeting. So those objectives that we had just looked at with as a team and we were okay with them, and now we're not going to be able to edit those. Okay, we can see here that those objectives, those black those red X's are no longer there. Okay, so once you open a review meeting, the objectives from that previous meeting get locked in because we're okay with reviewing what we've put in there. Okay, so that's what that means. So let's say, because this often happens in teaching, so that the teacher, okay, so Jean-Marc is no longer that teacher, and we have a new math teacher who's totally comfortable with this goal, but now we have to make the IEP reflect this new teacher. So this is also going to be the case at the beginning of a new school year. So let's say you had objectives from last June that are still relevant to the student in September, and you want to continue on with that objective, which is fine because it might be totally valid. What we're going to do when it comes to, because now we have to review, all right, our objective, is we're going to say that the objective is maintained. Okay, so we're still working on the same thing, but the means are modified. And that's important because the teacher is a mean. So even if it's last year, you talked to the teachers and you had kind of the transition between, let's say, grade 5 and grade 6, and the teacher was like, no, we didn't meet those objectives. I suggest you still work on them next September. And the grade 6 teacher's like, I think that's a fantastic idea. At the beginning of the year, you have to go and review the objectives, and you have to state that the objective is maintained, but the means are modified because the teacher, again, is a mean. All right. So I'm going to put the next review date for, let's say, I don't know, March or April. Okay, I'll put it as March 1st, which is fine. All right. So I'm going to save this, or I can go directly into the mean. Okay. And you can see now that I've changed it, the means are modified, that I can now change this teacher. Okay, so let's say now the science teacher is the math teacher, and I'm going to save it. Okay, perfect. And you'll see that the new objectives, it's the same, we're working on the same objective, but with the new mean, comes up as objective 1.1. Okay, so in objective 1, the person in charge is Jean-Marc Tremblay. Okay. And if we go to objective 1.1, which is the new one, we can see that this teacher is now in charge. Okay, so we've been able to change the teacher. All right, now if we want to go and we want to, again, let's say we want to change this and we want to say the objective is maintained, the objective and means are maintained, and if we go into the mean, we can see that we're not allowed to change the teacher. Okay, and that's some of the trouble that teachers have been having in trying to update the IEPs. Okay, so this is, if we don't say that the means are modified, the system is not going to allow us to change the teacher. Okay, so that's just a little brief overview of some issues in terms of why we have to be on the same page when it comes to the review meeting. Okay, so thanks.